it's the questions that we often give after we do instruction are on the actual fact, not the process.
You need both.
As well as the fact, but you do need them both.
You need both.
If the child lacks the processing skills, then
well, you didn't teach them.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so what's the rule for analogy? This is direct instruction. You take a body of knowledge, you exert the rule, you teach the rule to the child, you give them examples, you give them non-examples, and the kid gets smart. Okay, the rule for analogy is this. Whatever the first part of the analogy talks about, the second part of the analogy has to talk about the same kind of thing. A bird is to air as a fish is to
water.
Bingo.
So, yes, and then
So now the child has got a method by which they can analyze and choose their response and get it correctly because they've got the rule that works.
Right. And oftentimes, I think, at least in curriculum that I've seen, they make the child develop the rule on their own.
No, good luck.
That doesn't happen. And then you wonder why these kids are so confused. Why
they don't want to go to school, why they don't want to come and sit at the kitchen table. Mom, I hate math.
Right, because they're expected to fill in these blanks that they're not given. And I know especially for math, it's so hard when you have those gaps and you just expect them that you should know. You should just know how to do this.
Yeah,
and
good.
No, it's not how it works.
That's right. That's how it doesn't work.
Right. And then we get anxiety and all these other things that come along with
well, of course. And why wouldn't you? That's
right.
Perfectly predictable. And that's why. Yeah.
Well, and I've seen, you use your example too, is that you work through so many examples so the student is successful right with you.
Absolutely.
And
they're not going anywhere until we've mastered this, and it's not the student's problem. If the student didn't learn,
yes, exactly.
The teacher didn't teach.
And that's our job. Our job is to teach them the right way to do it, not to say, this is this, now put it together and you make the analogy. And too often we give kids bits and pieces and not.
Yeah. And with direct instruction, it's always the same. It's model. I do it. Lead. You do it with me. When I hear your response matching mine, I know that you've got it. Then I give you the test. Your turn. So if I say, okay, sound out a word with me. Listen, man. Do that with me. Ready?
Okay.
Man. Now you try it.
Man.
Good. You didn't stop between the sounds. Say it fast.
Man.
Good. What's that word?
Right. Man.
And so that's what we do with every word in the program.
Yeah. And it sets them up for success, doesn't it?
It's designed from a scientific basis.